Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about recovering from Thanksgiving. If you're in America, we had Thanksgiving last week and now it's Monday and you may need to recover from Thanksgiving still because again, what typically happens is we eat more during Thanksgiving, right? And that one day can easily turn into 5, 6, 7 days. And it can easily turn into months here. So it's important that you use this Monday right now as a focus to get back on track somewhat. And I think that's the key word that we're going to start with is somewhat. I do not believe that it's a good strategy to aim to be perfect in December for most people because, again, it's holiday time. It's got its own spirit with it. And for most people, again, there's no right or wrong completely. If you just want to hit it and be perfect, knock yourself out. But for a lot of people, it's not the time of year to be perfect with everything. And so what we're looking at is being somewhere in the middle, right? So in Program Yourself, then we're all or something. Whereas most diets are all or nothing, we're all or something. And this philosophy really shines over the next month where you're not looking to be perfect with your reading, but you're also not looking to mail it in until January 1st, right? We're looking to be somewhere in the middle. And so when we talk about recovering from Thanksgiving, that's the very first step is to realize you don't have to get right back on track being perfect with everything. It's about getting better. It's about getting yourself back to norm, back to a more even equilibrium than maybe you were at for last week or so. And so once you understand that, now it becomes easier because we have more options, right? Instead of the dieting thing, we're either perfect or we're not thinking about it at all. Now we realize there's all this kind of stuff in the middle that we can work on. We can focus on drinking more water. We could work on going for walks in the morning. We could focus on eating a salad for lunch. It doesn't matter what the specifics are, but the point is that you start breaking it down into smaller pieces because this is one of the most powerful things you can do. As soon as you get out of all or nothing land, it's so magical, especially during this next month, because it's not about being perfect. It's about holding holding the line to some degree and then kind of preparing ourselves so when January comes around, we're ready to hit it well. Okay. And that really does happen with this something philosophy because as long as we're doing some stuff, in our mind, we still feel like we're in the game and we get the benefits of those things, right? Again, when you drink more water, you get a little more sleep, whatever it is you decide to focus on for December. If you start doing those things, you get the benefit of them and you get the psychological benefit of knowing that you've been working on your weight, on your health, even during the holidays. And that is such a powerful message to send yourself. Okay. And then the other side of why it sets you up for more success in January is that even if you're a couple pounds heavier because your eating wasn't quite as clean, but you're still in the game and you still enjoyed your holidays as much as you possibly could, when January 1st comes, now you're in a much better position physically, mentally, emotionally to jump back into a more all phase of the plan, right? Where you start to dial up things in even more. But the big difference is when January 1st comes, it's not this big flip switch. It's more like a dimmer. You're turning the dimmer up more, but it's not this flip switch from going these two extremes. One of the most important things you got to do with your weight is get out of the mindset of the extremes. And again, there's no better time to practice that in December. So again, the focus becomes not on being perfect, but on really the subtleties, the soft skills of weight loss, the water, the walking, the sleeping, the nourishing your body some more, those focuses. And if you do start to focus on those, what ends up happening is that you give yourself more choices and they're not as extreme. And so you're more likely to do them. And so this is how you recover from Thanksgiving is to start today, this week, by choosing one or two things. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to eat more fruit. I'm going to have more salads. I'm going to go to bed earlier. Whatever it is for you that would really be valuable and helpful to you, focus on that one or maybe two things and start to weave them into your life. And what you'll notice is just by doing those a lot of times, they will nudge you to make healthier food choices throughout the holidays anyways. All right. And if you want to go deeper into this whole concept, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself Thin and go get the free hypnosis session I made for you. I got a free hypnosis session for you. I got about a free report I'm about to give to you. And there's a training there that's free as well. So I got a bunch of free stuff there right now. And I got a lot of cool free stuff coming this month. I always got good free stuff coming for you anyways, but especially during this month, because I like to support you during December. and share some of my calm holiday strategies with you. It's a program I put together, and I'll give you some sessions and some different things to help you along with that. But you got to get on my email list. So go click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself Thin. Go get that, get on that list. And yeah, we'll see you in there. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Any weight loss questions are welcome. What's up, Shireen? Shireen says, all leftover pies out with the trash today. All right, nice. Yes. Today's kind of that fresh start day in a way, right? That's why I talk about this. And so, again, it's not, you want to throw all your pies out. Great. That's a great thing to do. Really, one of the messages I'm saying, though, is kind of meet yourself where you're at. If you're able to get rid of all the pies, obviously that's great. Do it. If you're just feeling like, oh, I can't get rid of that pumpkin pie yet, I got to have one more night of it, that's okay too. Drink some more water, eat a piece of fruit. You know what I mean? Like, again, start thinking in the gray space. Don't be a black or white thinker with your weight. Get in the gray space. But that's great, Shireen, to get rid of those pies too, because once you get rid of the pies, you could feel it. It just goes off your mind. I know we had leftovers that we'd brought from my brothers, and I saw like the final ones of them got cooked and done. I was like, okay, don't have to think about that anymore. So that's a great strategy. Sheree says, yeah, I had plenty. Yeah, I get it. Yes. I had plenty too. I did not eat a lot of pie. I will talk about my, my bread journey. It's so funny. So anyways, Vicky says, Jim, did you have a Black Friday special for Thrive? I did, Vicky. Shoot me an email and I'll send you the link to it. I'll make sure I'll get you in there. Maybe you must not have seen it, but I sent out a couple of them. Don't know why you wouldn't have got it, but things happen, right? So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Any weight loss questions are welcome. It doesn't just have to be about Program Yourself Thin. It can be any weight loss questions. I see. Jenny, what's up, Jenny? Jenny says, hi, I signed up today. Mom gave me some Christmas money and I decided if not this, then what? I'm a bit annoyed that it's a Monday and the first of the month because that feeds into my everything or nothing narrative, but I just wanted to jump in. We don't have Thanksgiving, but I want to get in the right space for Christmas. Well, welcome to the program, Jenny. That's awesome. Super excited to have you here. And what a great time. What a great time to jump in. All right, I'm really, really excited for you. I love all my people, obviously, but I'm always such a big fan of my people that start in December. I love it. Again, Program Yourself Thin, really, to be honest, it really is a collection of people that are kind of outliers, what they come, and I know people call them polarity thinkers, what's the word? I'm contrarians. That's the word, right? So I love when people start a weight loss program in December. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. I always joke, even throughout the year, I always joke that Program Yourself Thin is the only weight loss program you'd ever start on a Friday or during December. And I think that really speaks a lot to why it's so different, but that's awesome, Jenny. So great. And I get it. Listen, one thing you learn in the program, it's not so much that you're going to change all of your thoughts, right? So you feel, okay, well, here we are, December 1st, Monday, right? So it's like these things line up and it feels like I'm going to jump in, I'm going to do it. It's not that you're going to change that so much, Jenny. The good thing you're already doing is you're recognizing that. So, I always say it's, I have a negative voice in my head and it's always first on the scene. I would have thought back in the day that I was going to get rid of that negative voice. What I've learned since then is the negative voice is still there. It's first on the scene. But what I've done is created a counter voice. I call it my coach voice. So the negative voice comes on the scene, says something really negative or whatever. And then this voice comes in and kind of calms everything down and works us through it. So again, understand that, Jenny, it's not about never thinking all or nothing, because you're always going to think all or nothing. You've just thought that way your whole life. So you'll always think all or nothing. The real secret you're going to learn in the program is how to realize you're thinking all or nothing when you're doing it, and then be able to move yourself into an all or something sort of mindset. So you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And when you have those all or nothing thoughts, again, it's not about hoping they never come up. They're always going to pop up automatically. It's about realizing you're having them and then adjusting them to all or something, just like you're doing. So great job, Jenny. Happy to have you here. And I can't wait till you get to see this program, because it is awesome. And there's just so much cool stuff coming down the pike. I can't even wait. Yes, the book is in its final phases. We got the final draft of the formatting, which took a little longer than I thought, but anyways, we're on the final end of that. And the book, Again, if you get on my email list, I'll be giving that book away for free January 1st to the 5th. You can get a free digital version of that book, The Tao of Living at Your Goal Weight. You're going to want this. I think it's a really good book. Let's see. Jody says, how is your pie tasting? People are to that. I hate for the letdown, but I did not go. My wife got super sick on Thanksgiving. And so we just didn't want to go over there and make everyone sick. I guess I didn't mind taking a chance on my brothers, but no, so I didn't have the pie tasting. I did not have it. I was curious to see how it was going to go. But what I will tell you, and I have to come clean, and I do this, I have no problem talking about this because I feel like doing this sort of work, I feel like influencers always just talk about how they're doing great. And I like to share my struggles when they pop up. This past winter, I put 10 pounds on. I talk about that because one of the main points I want to put through here is that being at your goal weight, living at your goal weight, the diet industry is always selling it to you as like a destination, like you just get there. And then the implication is you're just going to stay there. And it's not true. You living at your goal weight is really like surfing. It's something you have to manage, you have to be engaged with because things are always changing. And so for me, look at this one. I started bringing my dog into the office, so we'll see. But she just keeps, with the other one, they just keep playing all day long. And she keeps tapping on the little wood thing underneath me. What's up, Ruby? So anyways, so I share my stories with you because I want you to realize that managing your weight is an ongoing process. And different situations require different strategies. Different challenges pop up out of nowhere, and you got to deal with them. And so one of the challenges for me recently has been sourdough. My brother started making sourdough, got me into it, and I started making sourdough. And I don't mind saying I just have a natural knack for it, I guess. I have made, I don't know, I've been doing it 2 weeks now, and I've probably made 10 loaves of bread, and everyone's better than the last one. So anyways, please lay down in the bed, Ruby. Please lay down. I don't know if y'all can hear her tapping. I can. That's very distracting. So yeah, so sourdough bread, my favorite thing in the world. It's my favorite thing in the world. You've heard me say this before, right? Everyone's got kind of their food challenges. Mine is probably bread, carbs. I could just eat bread, pasta all day, all night. I feel fine. That's my thing. So all of a sudden you start making sourdough bread, right? That's the challenge. So I did not go to a pie tasting, but I have been dealing with the bread. I've been eating more of it. And it's been very interesting watching that happen. Now I will deal with it. Okay. But I am literally in the process of dealing with it. I ate a lot of bread this last week and a half. I've eaten more bread than I have in years. And I'm going to have to manage it, but I will. And I will talk about that as we move forward. So anyways, yes. And next year I will go to the pie tasting next year and I will share those stories with you. What's up, Rose? Roseanne says, hello from Roseanne at the grocery store. All right. I'm being thoughtful about everything I purchase. Great job. That's the first line of defense, right? So true. Yes. Getting good at shopping is one of the easier ways to manage your weight because, you want to put barriers up between the foods that you have challenges with, right? So I'll give you an example that I use. It is Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I would never buy a pint of it anymore. If I want Ben & Jerry's ice cream, I can have it, but I got to go to the store and I can get it. And I'll usually get the small little cup of it. Okay. And so the better you get at grocery shopping, and so simple strategies for grocery shopping more effectively, obviously going there after you've eaten, right? Don't go there hungry. That's a good one. Go with a list, know clearly what you want, be intentional. You know what I mean? When you go in there, be relaxed, be calm. Those are all ideal things. But yes, the better you get at grocery shopping, the better your weight's going to be, simply because, it's, if it doesn't come in the house, that's a big barrier. Not to say you can't go out and get some, obviously you can, but typically the more effort it takes for us to go do something, the less we're going to do it. So great strategy, Roseanne. Sheila says, I learned yesterday that my weight protects me. And as I lose, I feel vulnerable. It's like saying goodbye to a friend. I am ready. Sheila, I so appreciate you saying that because so much of that's the level I'm always working on. Here's a weird way to look at your weight. And I know you're not going to hear this or like this at first, but I am a big believer that you weigh what you want to weigh subconsciously. And if you're overweight, there's almost a guarantee, I almost guarantee you that if you're overweight and have been for a while, there are subconscious reasons you want to be overweight, literally want to be overweight. And Sheila just named one of the biggest ones that I've found a lot of people carry the extra weight intentionally because it's a form of protection. And it comes in different flavors. It could be protection from attention from men. That can be one way it protects you. Another way, it can just feel like insulation from the world, a buffer from the world, and it's not just the weight, it's the food and the weight. It's the routines, the rituals, the behaviors, and the weight literally can be seen as something positive that's protecting us. And there's a lot more versions of that. But I think it's very important, Sheila, that you recognize that, because that's the real work. I mean, don't get me wrong. Changing your eating obviously is work too. No doubt about it. But this is the work that no diet ever teaches you, is how do you deal with the psychology of actually wanting to be overweight because you feel safer when you're overweight? How do you deal with that, right? Dieting doesn't talk about that. It'd make you feel crazy if you thought that, but it's real. And I see it with almost every single client I've ever worked with. Some level there wants to be overweight. I know that sounds crazy. And I think though, I would, if I were you and I was overweight and I'd been overweight for a while, I'd be looking for that. I'd say, what is the positive I get out of being overweight? What are some positives? I promise you there are some. And I think you got to acknowledge those and then deal with them in order to genuinely move forward. Because if you, because your subconscious mind's like bizarro world. For Sheila, what Sheila is saying here is that when I lose weight, I feel worse. I feel scared. I feel more nervous. I feel less safe. If that's how you subconsciously feel, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And I think a lot of people, it's estimated 95% of dieters that lose weight, the successful ones, 95% of the successful dieters put the weight back on. So there's something going on here that we're not talking about. And it's more than just your hormone signal and your homeostatic system. God damn it. Makes me crazy. There's something more going on here. And a lot of it's psychological. And that's one example of it, that what's happening is that subconsciously you think of the weight as a positive. And I guarantee you, if you're overweight and have been for a while, I guarantee you have positive associations to the extra weight. I guarantee you. That's why you're overweight. That's a huge reason why. Are you addicted to food? That's a part of it. But I'm telling you, it's not as big as this other one. So I appreciate you, Sheila, realizing that. Okay. And now the question we want to be, how we deal with this, is you start asking yourself how you want to feel. At your goal weight, how do you want to feel? How can you feel safe and protected and secure at your goal weight? I don't know what the answer is for you, but that's the answer you need to find. Because once you have the answer in your mind of how you can be at your goal weight and feel as safe and as protected as you ever have in your life, now you're going to see getting to your goal weight and staying there is a whole completely different process. But it all starts with the awareness, Sheila. So I'm so proud of you for realizing that, and good luck on that journey. Okay. And finding that answer. All right. What's up, Joan? She's so cute. I know, but she is the cutest. Ruby is the sweetest. I got another one down here. She's so cute too. They're a story of two dogs. This is kind of our thing for a little while. We have like one pit bull, one Boston Terrier. We had a version before this one, similar. And now we got another one. But this one, it's so funny because the pit bull we got when she was like 6 months old, they say she was a street dog, but there's, as far as I can tell, like no trauma. I mean, she's just right as rain. It's just amazing. And then this other one, though, the Boston Terrier, she was abused and she was used as a breeder dog, which is a terrible thing where they just basically just keep impregnating these dogs, treating them like shit. She was emaciated. You know what I mean? They were starving her, treating her terrible. She was so nervous and anxious. So what a story. We've had her now about 4 months, going on 4 months, but what a transformation. And I will tell you something, I talk a lot about the nervous system, right? So you got your sympathetic nervous system is your fight, flight, or freeze. And you have your parasympathetic nervous system as your rest and digest, your pause and plan one. And it's been very interesting watching her, because when we got her, she was like an open wound. I mean, she was just like a tweaked up nervous system. Every noise, like you'd laugh and she'd hit the deck. I mean, it was so sad. And after 3-4 months, it's amazing how much more calm she is, and you can see her nervous system. She literally looks different. It's very interesting watching in 3 months, the transformation of relaxation happen in her. It's crazy because she literally looks different. Her face looks different. She looks younger. And I share this with you because I see this constantly with my clients, that it's not just about the weight loss. It's also about relaxing, feeling more calm, more centered, more present, more peaceful. These are things that make you a lot more attractive as well. But yeah, she is a cutie pie. Yes. Yep. Ponte says, yes, protection world. It is protection for a lot of people. They subconsciously, again, it's not unusual for someone who's overweight and has been for a long part of their life, that subconsciously they're associating it to security and protection. So again, it's just an important road to go down. Maybe it's affecting you, maybe it's not. But if it is, it's really something you got to address, I believe. But I was saying this, I did a lesson a couple weeks ago where I was talking about the soft skills of weight loss as opposed to the hard skills, because I think that pretty much like all the diets and all the weight loss plans are the hard skills, right? They'll eat this, work out this way, count this many calories, this macros, and it's always very black and white. You know what I mean? But I always feel like the real, and then that stuff's important, by the way, right? Of course, that stuff, it matters. However, I feel like the missing piece of most weight loss is that it really misses the soft skills, right? How do you manage what you're thinking? How do you manage your internal dialogue? If you know about that, like how you talk to yourself, right? We're all our own best or worst hypnotists. So how you're talking to yourself is a huge impact on how you're ultimately going to behave and the results you're going to get. Managing your feelings, right? If you can't manage your feelings genuinely, well, of course you're going to go to the food to manage them. So again, to me, it's the soft skills of weight loss that you've never learned. And once you start to understand them and you start to develop some strategies to deal with them, it changes everything. One of my favorite stories, I remember watching Justin Bieber, the musician. I saw him at some show and he's doing the goddamn Rubik's Cube. He's like a speed cuber. And I said, what the shit? Because I was saying to my wife, I said, oh my God, what's it? Look at this guy. He can do this Rubik's Cube. I'm like, I can't do the Rubik's Cube. I tried doing the Rubik's Cube growing up. I spent years trying to do that thing. My wife goes, oh, he's probably just following the algorithm. So what? What? She goes, oh yeah, there's just an algorithm. Never knew that. I never knew that. You got to understand, when I was trying to do the Rubik's Cube, it was before the internet. So there was no internet. I just thought you figured it out. One side and I'll try to another, right? So it's funny to me, like, because I gave up. I quit with the Rubik's Cube. But when I realized, oh, there's just an algorithm. If I'd known there was an algorithm back then, I would have learned it and I would have known how to do the Rubik's Cube. So I find weight loss very similar to this, that I think, you're trying to lose weight, but it's just like here's the Rubik's Cube, here you go. And so you're just like, oh, well, I'll do one side, then I'll do two sides, then I'll do three sides. That's not how you do it though. You know what I mean? So sometimes in life, your intuitions of how to do something are completely wrong. And you can put all the effort and time and work in, but if you don't have the right plan, it doesn't get you anywhere. And I find with weight loss, that's just so common, And so I like to think Program Yourself Thin is kind of like that algorithm. That's how I think of it. Remo says, exercise is great. My A1C was 8.9. After I start walking every day, it's go down to 6.1. Wow, wonderful. Yes, walking is my opinion, the best exercise for most people to start with. Exercising is walking is wonderful. Walking really is so much more beneficial than people tend to give it credit for. You got to think beyond just the calories burned. Walking has just so many benefits to you beyond just calories burned that are going to support you. So that's wonderful, Remo. Pamela says, I've had weight loss hypnosis. It works. I remember want, need, and have. I use this. I've lost 25 kilograms. That's awesome, Pamela. Super duper. Yes, weight loss hypnosis is very, very powerful because it helps to reprogram your subconscious mind so it supports you instead of works against you. And for most people, unfortunately, their subconscious mind's kind of working against them, when it comes to their weight loss. And having it work for you, once again, obviously that's going to be valuable, as you can imagine. Maria says, I love the way you consider what we prioritize and our ultimate goals align with the choices. Well, thank you, Maria. Yes. I guess, my pattern here, I think I've taken such a different path with doing this than most weight loss people, right? Because most weight loss people that you would ever learn from or work with are just going to tell you what to do. They basically will they'll tell you the one size fits all system, pretty much. And I work with real people on the ground floor of what actually makes them do what they do, And I think that honestly, for you to figure out how to live at your goal weight, you're going to have to customize a system to you. So we have a one size fits one system made specifically for you. And the more you customize it to your preferences, your genetics, your lifestyle, I think the better chance you have of success. So yes, well, I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions. So at this point, one of the biggest things I've learned is that usually when people want to lose weight, they try and fit a square peg into a round hole, right? You try and force yourself to do the plan, whatever it may be. You force yourself to do it. It doesn't feel right. You're just going to force yourself to do it though. And it becomes an endurance test. It becomes about how long can I white knuckle myself to do this thing I don't enjoy doing? And so I found that's the complete opposite way to get long-term results, because anything you hate doing that you have to force yourself to do, you're not going to do for very long. So to me, I want to take the time and the effort and put it into figuring out the best plan for me, the most comfortable, the easiest, the most enjoyable plan. No one ever does this. But if you start looking for the easiest, most enjoyable, comfortable way to get to your goal weight and stay there, like, you've never asked that question, but once you start to get obsessed with that question, you start collecting strategies, distinctions, beliefs, ideas that move you in that direction, that make that happen. And once you have those at your disposal, well, as you can imagine, it's like all of a sudden you got a toolbox filled with all the tools you need, as opposed to a toolbox that's got a hammer in it. And that's what most people's experience of weight loss is. You got one thing. You're going to track your macros. You're going to stop eating carbs. You're going to not eat for 16 hours. You're going to count every calorie. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But it's you kind of just taking one big whack at changing one big thing. And you do it for a little while, and then you stop doing it and you go back to what you always did. And most likely you've been repeating that cycle for decades. So again, in Program Yourself Thin, what we're looking to do is to create a brand new approach based on you. Because what's easy and enjoyable for me is probably not easy and enjoyable for you. So why would I sit here and tell you to do what I do as if you're not your own person? It makes no sense to me. And I think it's just a sign of how ridiculous dieting is, because this idea that I'm going to tell you what to eat, tell you how to live, and you're just going to do it as if you're not a human being who has your own preferences. It would be like me telling you how to dress or what music to listen to, what movies to watch. I mean, you're a human. You got your opinions. You got your preferences. You have to honor those. And you have to honor those when it comes to your weight loss. You have to figure out what works best for you. And you create a system that's built for you, customized for you. My plan is a one size fits one plan. My clients' plans are a one size fits one plan, because everyone's a unique snowflake. We all got different likes, lifestyles, schedules, all this stuff, Agent Dunham says all or something. I love that so much. Yes, all or something really is the secret. The secret to life. And I am here, TikTok. This is real. This is not a video. It's hard to find the TikTok questions, so they get lost in the notifications sometimes. So if you asked a question, I missed it, I apologize. This is live. It is Monday after Thanksgiving. So I hope you all had a nice Thanksgiving. I had a wonderful one. And don't worry about it. It's only a day. Might been more than a day. Not unusual for that day to spin out. What's up, Don? How's it going? It's been a while. Good thing you're here. I'm sure you're on my email list because you got the program. You'll be there because I got that book coming out pretty soon. So make sure y'all get on my list. Make sure you click the link. If you're on TikTok, click my little face up in the top left. If you're I didn't put the link in. If you're on Facebook, I'm gonna put this link in right now. Make sure you go here. Because, well, yeah, you get a free hypnosis session right now. You get a training for free. I got a report coming out that you're going to get. I got a bunch of cool stuff coming. But one of the coolest things that's coming out in the next couple, well, it's going to be next month. 1 month from today, actually. 1 month from today, I'll be giving the book away for free. So it's going to be exciting. Oh, man, I can't wait. It's really exciting. I got to tell you. I will tell you, my experience writing a book has been very nerve-wracking. I work on calming myself down and relaxing and dealing with it. I've done that, but at the same time, I've found it and noticed it to be very kind of tense. And I will tell you my key tension with the whole thing, because I realized this. I got the formatted book and I looked at it and I said, well, there's parts of it I don't like structurally. I like how the chapters look. I don't like it. And as soon as that happens, then it's like, oh my God, this book's going to suck. It's going to look like crap. Now it's funny. I realize I've gone through this each phase of the book. You write the book and you're like, okay, well, I got some, that's cool. Then you go back and edit and you're like, oh, this isn't any good. And then you work at it and then it becomes better. And so, okay, great. Then move on to the next thing. And then you edit it again and you're like, oh, this is good, but I don't like this. And every time you don't like something, it's my brain is like, oh, this is going to suck. I'm never going to fix anything. I'm never going to be better. So I'm never going to make it better. I'm going to screw it all up. So it's been very interesting writing this book because, I mean, talk about coming face to face, that negative voice. And that was one of the recent things I was saying is I got it. And I'm like, I didn't like the way the chapters were laid out. And so it's like, I know I don't like what I'm looking at, but it's the fear of like, well, I got to figure out what I do like. And that not knowing in the moment, as soon as a little space, my brain just fills it up all this negative. You're never going to figure it out. It's always going to look terrible. That's why I need a coach voice. I can't stop that negative voice. I never will. I genuinely believe that, but I don't need to. So I recognize that negative voice comes in. I can feel my stomach tighten up and I relax. That's where the coach comes in. Relax. We've gotten this far. We're going to just work on this and we're going to work on it until we figure it out. And it's going to look great. And so it's so funny because I've been using all the stuff I talk about with weight. I use in every area of my life, but with the book, it's been really clear how valuable this whole approach is. You know, again, learning how to run your mind. I mean, obviously it's going to help you with weight, but learning how to run your mind is going to help you with everything in life because everything you do, you know, your mind's involved. So, but anyways, I will say the coolest part is I did get the new chapter design and I like it. And it was funny too, because I put on the new chapters and I say, here you go, but do the new chapter. This is how I want to look. And they changed the font. I said, what the hell? I don't like how that looks now. But finally we got everything going in and that could be it. Because then you see it and you're like, oh, that's it. That's good. Then that's the best feeling. But that's life, I think. You know what I mean? Like you do this stuff and it's like you just teeter constantly between like, even though it's just a book, it doesn't even matter like in a lot of ways, but it's like you just go into such emotional depths of anxiety and fear and worry and then excitement. Holy shit, I can't believe this, you know, all that. But I think that I share that with you, that you give a shit about the book, but I think weight loss is like this. It's the same thing. I think anything you do in life where you're working to achieve something that you don't currently have, I think is like this. You have good and bad days. You have good feedback, bad feedback. And the response to it so often when something little comes out that the chapters aren't right is to, oh my God, it's never going to work. I'm never going to figure this out. This is never going to work. Right? We step on the scale and it stays the same or went up a pound. Oh my God, I'm never going to lose weight. I mean, it's never going to happen. You know, that overwhelming negative response is completely and totally normal. And you're never going to avoid that most likely. So it's not about avoiding that. It's about learning to manage it. And the good stuff too, right? Because then that's something good to have. Oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. Everything's perfect now. Well, you know what I mean? Like it's extremes on both sides. And I think learning to kind of manage that has been very, very helpful. Don't get too low, don't get too high. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the middle. I think that's the sweet spot. But anyways, I like those Pam. He gave they don't show stickers. Cool little thanks stickers. What's up, Don? I'm saying hello. Maria says the other idea that you shared that weight loss takes a year and then becomes a way of life. Short-term goals are good if they fit into an overall perspective that you maintain for a life. Yeah, exactly, Maria. I'm glad you appreciate that because that's probably the biggest thing that I'm always communicating here. And I think it comes through really in how you talk about the goal. You know, the goal is not to lose weight. That's what the diet industry has convinced you, that the goal is to lose weight. But the goal is not to lose weight. The goal is to live at your goal weight. Those are two totally different things. And I think that the sooner you make that distinction and that shift, the better. Because when you start focusing on living at your goal weight, subconsciously you align yourself to choose strategies that are a better fit, you know? Because if you just think of weight loss as it's going to take me a couple months to lose the weight, that's going to set you up to choose extreme strategies that are unsustainable. And that's probably what you've done your entire weight loss career, is use and rely on strategies that are just too much. They're too overwhelming. They're too intense. They're difficult to keep up, and you don't keep them up, and you blame yourself for it. But I blame the plan. The right plan isn't just one you lose weight with. The right plan is one you lose weight with comfortably, sustainably. That's the right plan. So yeah, if you start thinking in longer time frames, I think it sets you up to choose the more appropriate ways to master your weight. Bookworm says, what other books do you have, Jim? Yeah, it's funny you say that. I have this book. I consider this a book, but this is like if you're in the program, this comes with the program, the digital version. If you want to get the physical version, you can do that. But so this is, I would say, my first book. I consider it a book, even though you can't buy it unless you're in the program. But I have my first actual book coming out January 1st. It's called The Tao of Living at Your Goal Weight. And that book is, I would say, an introduction to this whole philosophy. And it is written in hypnotic stories and kind of Taoism. If you have any sense of Taoism, it's kind of Taoist philosophical concepts, and it's kind of written poetically, hypnotic stories. It's hard to explain it. You'll see when you see it. Again, I'll be giving it away for free, so make sure you get my email list. But I do have the next book coming out. This is going to be another kind of, I consider kind of a mini book, and this will be another one like this for people in my program. So it'll only be for people in the program, at least initially. And that book will be called The Program Yourself Thin Method. And so again, if you get on my email list, you'll get the first chapter of that for free. I will be giving that to you, and I'll probably have that ready for you this week. It's written up. I'm just got to choose the cover I want. And then if you're in the program, it's going to be a month or two probably, but then I will have that available to you in the program. And you'll get, again, a digital copy for free. I don't know if I'm going to make physical copies. I may, we'll see. But at the very least, you'll get the digital copy. So that'll be the, I guess, technically third book. And then I got the big book coming out next year in the spring. That's going to be my big one. And that is going to be the whole program kind of laid out. So Program Yourself Thin is going to be all about the main program. The main kind of process of the program is the Program Yourself Thin method, which really relies on the redo rehearsal technique. And so this is a 60-second mental programming exercise you do at night to program your mind to make you thin and healthy. And it has the redo part where you look over the previous day, and it has the rehearsal where you program yourself for tomorrow. And again, all in all, it takes 60 seconds to do, maybe. And so the Program Yourself Thin method is a deep dive into that. So again, the first chapter, which I'm going to give away for free, is just an overview of the redo rehearsal technique, right? That's the core of it. And then the rest of the book goes deeper into those concepts, how to program your mind, how to, set a better goal for yourself, how to use pleasure-based motivation, how to find better strategies, how to ask better questions. So again, we kind of go into that. So that'll be available to people in the program. That'll just be included, but I would imagine that's probably looking somewhere end of December, early January, and that'll be sold to people or that'll just be given to people in the program. But the main book will come out in the spring, somewhere in there. So those are the books right now. And then I got my favorite book that I can't wait to write. I don't know, probably next year at the end of the year somewhere. That one I cannot wait to write. That's going to be a fun one. So it's not so much about the program. It's more about the state of weight in our culture. And that's the one I'm really excited about. But these other ones I got to get done first. Gina B, how's it going? Says breakfast for postmenopausal women, please, for weight loss, if you please. Yeah, I mean, breakfast, I think before I give you a specific breakfast, I think it's important to understand the philosophy of eating at your goal weight. And I would tell you, while it's not absolutely necessary, I certainly think it makes the whole process easier. The more whole natural food you eat and the less processed food you eat, the easier time you're going to have. So when it comes to breakfast, my first question is I want to eat whole natural as much as possible. At least Monday through Friday or whatever, 5 days a week, I want really nourishing, high quality, good food there. So what does that mean? Well, it's different for each person, but what I have Ezekiel toast with natural peanut butter and apple natural peanut butter. That's my breakfast Monday through Friday, every day of the week. Okay. Some people like that. Some people have yogurt and some fruit. Some people have oatmeal and some fruit. Some people make eggs. Again, it's, I don't want to tell you what to eat because everyone's different. So you got to figure out for you. So how do I judge what to eat? I'm not looking at calories really. I mean, of course, I'm not going to eat waffles and pancakes and the lumberjack special for 2,000 calories. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to look at what can I eat at breakfast that's nourishing and going to satisfy me until lunch. So that's the main thing I'm looking at. For breakfast, I'm looking to have the most satisfying meal. What can I eat at breakfast that gets me to the next meal comfortably? And the main way I'm going to figure that out is I'm going to look and I'm going to optimize that breakfast so it's more natural and healthier. So the easiest thing I would say to you is to start to improve whatever breakfast you typically eat if you eat breakfast. All right. So, I don't know. You could have cereal for breakfast. So the first thing I would do is I would get the healthier cereal, less sugar, more natural whole grains in it. I'd add a piece of fruit to it. You know what I mean? So I would systematically work to take whatever breakfast you eat now or don't eat, and I'd start to implement breakfast that is more natural, more satisfying, and comfortably gets me to the next meal. So I hope that helps you out. Moira says, for the first time in my life, I'm finding it very easy to lose weight thanks to your program. All right, Moira. Yeah, I've been getting so many. It was really great. I got a bunch of messages from people. Again, a lot of people in the program for the first time was this their first Thanksgiving. And I got a bunch of messages over the weekend, people really excited about how their Thanksgivings went. Because again, in Program Yourself Thin, you can enjoy yourself on Thanksgiving. There's no outlaw foods, so you get to go to Thanksgiving and enjoy yourself, eat what you want to eat. But at the same time, the way we do it, you tend to eat less than you've ever eaten at Thanksgiving as well. So what a weird paradox, right? That you enjoy a Thanksgiving meal more than you ever have, while you simultaneously consume less calories during Thanksgiving than you probably ever have, right? And that's the sweet spot. That's how you know you're onto something. But I appreciate you sharing that, Moira. Yes. And that's one of the key things. Again, in Program Yourself Thin, it's not just about forcing yourself to lose weight with white knuckles and willpower. It's about figuring out a way that feels easy and comfortable and enjoyable for you. And if you'll take that path, I will let you know it's a little harder in the beginning because you have to figure some stuff out. Of course, diets, they seem easy because they're just telling you what to do. And you think you'll just force yourself to do it. But the reality is that you need to figure out what works for you. But that's awesome, Moira. Keep it up. You're just at the beginning here. So keep going. It gets easier and easier and easier. Right? Shireen says, Pooh series, Tao of Pooh and Day of Piglet. And next Pooh will have to be titled with Tay. Yes. Next book. Yes. I know. That's cool that you know that, Shireen, because that was a huge book for me. The Tao Te Ching was a really important, very impactful book for me at a very fundamental time in my life. And then the Tao of Pooh is, which is one of my favorite books. So Taoism is absolutely kind of weaved into the whole system and program. Vicky says, so all the stuff will be transmitted via email to us, not with Circle. It'll be transmitted both ways. So you'll get messages in Circle and you'll get emails. So a little bit of a backup system, a little bit of redundancy. You can always opt out of the Circle stuff if you choose to, but it'll go through email, the rest of it. And yes, there will be audio versions. Bookworm says, yep, I'm on your email list. All the daily emails. Great. Good. Roy says, I just discovered you. I love your content. Thank you, Roy. I appreciate that. Bookworm says, will anyone be able to buy a book number 4 next year? Or will it just be for clients? No, book number 4, everyone will be able to buy. That'll be sold through Amazon. And the book I'm selling January 1st, you'll be able to buy through Amazon. I'll be giving it away. So I will be giving away the free Kindle version for the first 5 days of the year. So that'll be for anyone that wants to buy it. And I suggest you get it. It's gonna be free. And it's really good. Do not let the price fool you, folks. Okay. This book is so good. I've read through it 150 times, and every time I love it. I think it's really exciting. So, but all the books coming up, I'm just excited. It's just so fun. But yeah, Program Yourself Thin method, that will be for clients. I may sell that, but I doubt it. And that will be probably, like I said, probably the end of the month. It'll basically be, if you're in the Program Yourself Thin method trainings, right? There's how to do the read to rehearsal technique. There's programming your mind, the ideal you, defining that. better strategies, pleasure-based motivation, eating trances, right? These things will be basically in book form, so you can read through it if you don't want to just watch it. So that'll be there. Yeah. Hey, Jane says, love your program. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate that. And you're just going to love it more. I'm telling you, oh my God, this month is so fun because, the main book's kind of done. The other books I'm working on are they're, because I'm not formatting them for distribution. It's just a way easier process. And I've gotten so many kind of little things out of the way. So really, December is really about just dialing in the program. And I want to welcome all the new Thrive people that joined up over the weekend. I'm super excited for you. Thrive is going to be kind of redesigned a bit as well. So it'll be kind of formatted a little bit different. I mean, the content's gonna be similar. You get your hypnosis sessions in the morning, you get your weekly one at night. It's just going to be, I'm going to make it more accessible, a little easier to kind of move through the program. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming in the whole Program Yourself Thin world. So, but thank you, Jane. I appreciate you sharing that. Thrive's a continuation. So you go through Program Yourself Thin. And by the way, if you got that email last week, I sent out an email. It went out to the wrong people. So if you got an email about renewing and you're like, what the hell is this? I thought I had lifetime access. You do have lifetime access. Okay. That was an accident. So when you sign up for Program Yourself, then you get lifetime access to the program and all future updates. But Thrive is an ongoing program. So the way Program Yourself Thin is, it's really kind of designed as an 8-week program where, again, you get lifetime access to everything, but for those 8 weeks, every morning you get an email with a 5-minute hypnosis session. So this is a big part of the program. You kind of bookend your day with a 5-minute hypnosis session in the morning and a 10-minute one at night if you want to listen to that. And what happens is you get those messages. So every day you're getting those new sessions, and you're getting a reminder to listen to your nighttime one. But then at the end of 8 weeks, that's the end of that's the program. But if you want to continue getting daily hypnosis sessions, if you want to continue getting, every Sunday there's a new lesson, a new hypnosis session, a 10-minute one, and then every weekday you get another 5-minute session. They're all new ones. Okay. And so if you want to continue down that path, that's what Thrive is. We have live classes on Mondays. So it's basically, it's a program for mastery, right? So it's a way to master all the Program Yourself Thin information and to continue to get supported through the hypnosis sessions, through the trainings and the classes and live Q&As we have, and through the community. The community's become stronger and stronger. And it's where the people that are really committed and really thriving with Program Yourself Thin are hanging out. So it's good to be around them as well. So yes, that will do it. So Jane, if you're interested, shoot me an email and I'll answer those questions for you. So again, Thrive's only available to people that have gone through the program. So if you're not in the program, don't even worry about Thrive. All right. That's just an extra one if someone's interested in that. So, all right. I think we got everything. Bookworm says, Jim, how often throughout the year does PYT program go on sale? It's been going on sale a bit just because I've been caught up on things. But I will tell you, I'll say it here. If you want to get the program, I did a Black Friday deal over the weekend. I don't want to keep doing it because the price is going, like the discount's never going to happen again. I know I've been saying this for a while. It is literally only because I got to redo a video and update the price. And I just haven't had time to do it, but it's happening now. So again, this program is going to go up in price. And so if you're interested in it, shoot me an email at jim@programyourselfthin.com. And I will, at this moment, this week, I'm not going to keep this up. I know people re-listen to these. So this is the week of December 1st. If you hear this and you want to get the Black Friday pricing, which was $297, which is the deal of the century. It's lifetime access. What you're getting is it's a ridiculous value, it's too much of a value. You know what I mean? Like, you got to price things appropriate in life. I hate to say this. I know, believe me, I've been doing this a long time. You got to price things appropriately for people to really respect it and appreciate it. It's just how it goes. So anyways, but yeah, you can shoot me an email if you're interested in it. But okay. When on the program, would you mail the workbook to Canada? Yes, you can order the workbook. You can order the workbook in the program. And yes, I do ship to Canada. So, all right. We're good. All right. Very good, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate your questions. Certainly appreciate your comments. Thank you. You guys are killing it. Yeah, there's Carol. It is an amazing value. It's too good of a listen, everything's relative in life. You have to understand it's $25,000 to work with me privately. So, you know what I mean? Like that does skew things, but you know, this program legit, it's too little it just is. It just is. This is a life-changing program. And it's like, this should be thousands. I've sold this program for thousands of dollars for years. You know, now there's more of a group coaching component to that version of it, but this again is a life-changing program. So anyways, if you are serious about it, do it now. Cause I promise you January, it's never going to go down to this price again. And I know I say this, but I promise you it's never going to go down to this price again. So I just want you to know that. Cause I try to give you all fair warning. All right. But if you're not in my world, make sure you click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself Then go get the free hypnosis session. I'll put it right in the chat, Jane. I just saw your little thing there. So I will put this in there. You can email me here if you have any questions. So yeah, make sure you get on my email list, click the link in my bio, go to Program Yourself Then go get the free hypnosis session, get on my email list. And if you like this, I'm here every Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. Hop on, ask your questions. Let me help you out. This is my mission. So I'm here to move you forward in any way I possibly can. And if you like this, but you can't make the live, it's also a podcast. You can search for Program Yourself Then on any of the podcast platforms. It'll pop up. There I am. You can listen to anytime you want. So, all right, everyone, have a super day and we'll talk soon. Bye.